Hi, my name is Cartor Xiong, and this is my private placement assignment. A private placement memorandum, or also known as a private offering, is a legal document that acts as a securities document and is used as a private offering of securities by a company or investment fund. This document is given to investors to inform them about the company and contains very important information about the security. This document is also given to investors when they plan on selling their stocks and contains very detailed information that can help investors make informed decisions on whether to make their investment or not. A private placement memorandum is usually used when a company's securities are not registered with state law or federal law. These securities offerings are not publicly traded, and they are exempt from the usual requirements of reporting and are not registered with the SEC. Some confuses a placement offer with a business plan. However, a private placement is more descriptive while a business plan is more persuasive. The most important sections in the documents of the private placement is the summary, offering terms, risk factors, use of proceeds, description of the securities, financial data, and management. These sections must follow strict guidelines from federal law and government agencies such as the SEC. Documents need to be in compliance with federal security laws and must not have any misleading or false statements. Information provided in the document must have all necessary details of the company to make informed decisions, and the document must also disclose any risks associated with the investment. It is important to note that providing more information is always better since it can avoid mistakes. Regulation D is the most commonly used law for the private placement and is part of the Securities Act of 1933. This law has separate exceptions for companies raising capital, and there are 6 rules that a private placement memorandum must meet. These rules are Series 501 through 506. The first 3 rules, 501 through 503, sets forth the terms and conditions that apply throughout the regulations. Specific exemptions is set out in rules 504 through 506. And Rule 504 applies when no more than 1 million securities are sold within 12 months, and this rule imposes no ceilings on investors, permits the payments of commissions, and imposes no restriction on the matter of offering or resale securities. Rule 505 applies to securities being sold at no more than 5 million within 12 months. This rule allows you to sell up to 35 non-accredited investors, and an unlimited number of accredited investors are allowed. In this rule, it does not allow advertising or solicitations to sell its securities, and Rule 506 has no amount of dollar in the offering. It's available to all issuers with no more than 35 non-accredited purchasers and a limited number of accredited investors. However, this rule states that the purchaser must meet a certain sophisticated standard. In September of 2013, the SEC adopted a new paragraph to the Rule 506, which is in Part C of this rule. This allows offers to be made through solicitations if all purchasers are accredited investors, verify their accredited status, and meet other regulations and other areas in Regulations D. There are 5 basic requirements. The first requirement is a business entity will be treated as a single accredited vendor unless it was organized for the specific purpose of acquiring the securities offered. The second is the issuer and any party for the issuer, including the broker-dealer, must take all responsible steps to ensure that the information is correct. All of the offerings must also have access to meaningful and current information, and a private placement cannot be the subject of advertising or general promotion. Purchasers in a private placement must also acquire the securities for investment and not for distribution. Any breach of these terms is a violation of the Securities Act of 1933. Rule 144A and Regulation S. Rule 144A is mainly sold to qualified institutional buyers, which are institutions that have over 1 billion in assets. These are convertible debt or equity that is sold to a broker and then sold to qualified institutional buyers. Regulation S allows the company to make private offerings to foreign investors. Regulation S has 5 important rules that needs to be followed. The first one is general statements of the regulation. The second is sets forth the applicable definitions. The Rule 3 and 4 sets forth 2 safe harbors, and Rule 5 sets forth resale limitations applicable to equity securities. Private placement offer also has advantages and disadvantages. Some advantages: it allows small business to raise capital without having to go through the process of initial IPO. The PPM doesn't have to go through brokers or underwriters, which makes it less expensive. And it also allows business to target certain investors with similar goals and interests. It also allows companies to keep the private status and can be an important source of getting capital for startup firms. Disadvantages are it's difficult to find suitable investors, and they may have limited funds. And private securities are usually sold at a discount to investors and may be below market value. The term sheet is first a non-binding agreement which lays out the basic terms and conditions in which your investment must be made. It provides a template for the company to use and can be later modified to be a more detailed legal document. Due diligence is the process of evaluating the potential investment and business opportunity. Due diligence is a term used as a general duty to exercise care in any transaction and evaluate the business past, present, and future. Due diligence is conducted to confirm that the business is what it appears to be. It also helps to identify potential deal killers in the document and can help avoid a bad transaction between investors and businesses. Due diligence is conducted prior to signing the contract and usually comes after both parties have gone through a preliminary agreement. Due diligence is important in getting information that will be useful for evaluating assets, defining representatives, warranties, and negotiating price concessions. When conducting due diligence, the parties involved creates a checklist of needed information, whereas the manager of the company prepares the information requested. Also, too much due diligence can deter the company and they may walk away from the deal. So it's very important to focus on bigger issues, prioritize what is most important to you, and also due diligence is an important process in investigating further into the transactions of the document. Therefore, it is an important step in developing the private placement memorandum and it's a good way to evaluate a business opportunity. Thank you. My name is Cartor Xiong, and this was my presentation.